Think about your morning routine. You wake up, check your phone, and perhaps order a coffee through an app, paying with a simple tap of your device. While you see that $6 leave your bank account instantly, the reality is that no physical money actually moves. Instead, your bank simply sends an electronic message to the coffee shop S-Bank to change numbers in two different databases. This means that in our modern world, your money exists only as a digital entry representing debt backed by trust in the system. Now imagine for a moment that you could travel back to the year 1825. If you wanted to buy that same coffee, or the 19th century equivalent, that transaction would require a silver coin. That coin had intrinsic value. It would still be worth something even if the government that minted it collapsed the very next day. This comparison reveals the most fundamental shift in human history. The old economy was based on tangible value like gold and land, while the modern economy is based on debt, trust, and computers. To understand where we are today, we need to look at the old economic system that existed until around 1971. That era was defined by a simple rule. Money was a store of value backed by something real, and economic growth was limited by physical constraints. For most of human history, money itself had value, like gold or silver coins. Governments could not create money out of nothing. They had to mine precious metals, which naturally limited how much money could exist. Because of these limits, prices remained remarkably stable for long periods. In England, the price of a bushel of wheat stayed relatively similar for nearly 400 years between 1300 and 1700. Compare that to today. Between 1913 and 2024, the US dollar lost about 97% of its purchasing power. In the old world, saving money made sense. In the modern world, saved money slowly melts away. The shift to our current system had a clear breaking point. On August 15, 1971, President Richard Nixon ended the ability to convert U.S. dollars into gold. This moment marked the birth of the fiat currency system. Fiat money has value only because governments declare it valuable and people trust that declaration. This change removed all physical limits on money creation. In the past, creating money required gold. Today, it requires nothing more than numbers typed into a computer. What most people do not realize is that governments are not the only ones creating money. Private banks create most money through lending. When you take a mortgage, the bank does not hand you existing money. It creates new money digitally. Every loan expands the money supply. This means the entire system is built on debt. If all debts were paid off at once, the money supply would collapse. That is why the modern economy depends on constant growth. When lending stops, the system breaks. This change transformed how society works. The old economy rewarded production and saving. The modern economy rewards consumption and borrowing. Today, consumption makes up around 70% of U.S. GDP. Governments encourage spending because the system cannot survive without it. This has led to massive debt, including over $1 trillion in credit card debt and more than $12 trillion in mortgage. Even the physical world has changed. In the early 19th century, most goods were produced locally. That system was inefficient but resilient. Today, global supply chains stretch across dozens of countries. An iPhone relies on hundreds of suppliers worldwide. This extreme efficiency lowers prices but creates fragility. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit, the entire system stalled. Central banks now hold unprecedented power. By controlling interest rates and printing money through quantitative easing, they shaped the entire economy. Between 2008 and 2022, the U.S. Federal Reserve created roughly $9 trillion to stabilize the system. This has pushed the economy toward financialization. Wealth today is created less through producing goods and more through owning assets. This is the core reason for growing inequality. As money is printed, assets like stocks and real estate rise in value. The wealthy, who already own these assets, benefit first. Workers receive the new money later through wages after inflation has already reduced its value. Housing shows this clearly. In the past, limited credit kept prices low. Today, easy borrowing pushes prices higher, making homes unaffordable for people who rely only on their income. To survive in this system, you must think differently. Saving cash is no longer a winning strategy because inflation constantly erodes its value. Wealth today is preserved by owning productive assets such as stocks, real estate, or gold. In this system, fixed-rate debt can even work in your favor because inflation reduces the real value of what you owe over time. This process is explained by the Cantillon effect. Those closest to newly created money benefit first. Everyone else pays the price through inflation. That is why traditional advice like avoiding debt and saving cash worked for your grandparents but can harm you today. The modern economy is built on fiat money, global supply chains, and perpetual debt. Currency is no longer a store of value. It is a tool for exchange. To thrive, you must understand leverage, own assets, and know how the system truly works. Imagine the economy as a ship. In the old system, the ship was anchored to gold. It moved slowly but was stable. In the modern system, the anchor is gone. The ship moves faster than ever, but it depends entirely on trust and debt. If that trust fails, the ship does not slow down. It risks sinking. In today's world, your goal is not just to ride the ship, but to understand the engine that keeps it moving. Hit the subscribe button if you liked the video.